Morning, everybody.
This week's parsha is Parshas Ki Tavo, and in this week's parsha, there's a very. There are many great verses, but this is a very fundamental verse that is quite known. There's a pasuk that says like this: Tachas asher lo avadat Hashem Elokecha b'simcha v'tuv levav mirov kol. Since you did not serve God, your God, with joy and heartfelt gladness from an abundance of everything. We have to be also involved in serving Hashem with joy. When a person does not serve Hashem with joy, it's an issue. You will be accountable for that. So you have to serve Hashem with joy. And when we don't, that's where we start to fall, because everything becomes cold and a yoke and a problem. So there's this very important emphasis to do that. So if you know Hebrew a little bit, there's a little bit, I wouldn't say play on words, but there's an additional interpretation over here. Tachas shalevat Hashem elkecha, since you not serve Hashem, b'simcha, with joy, with levav, with a good heart, merov kol, from everything. Merov kol means from everything. But it means to say like this: not only, the Rebbe says this, not only do you have to serve Hashem with joy, but you have to be able to come to the point that the joy of Hashem is more than everything else. More joy than you have in other things. We have joy in other things. We enjoy certain things in life, certain worldly matters. You have to be able to come to a point that you enjoy Hashem and you enjoy the Torah, enjoy the mitzvahs more than everything. But how can you do that? Well, is there like a secret button that press and boom? So you have to come to understand that. So how do you understand that? So everything in this world that we can enjoy comes from Hashem. Hashem created the whole world. So every pleasure, every enjoyment that we have is here from Hashem. Now, there are physical, things that are physical enjoyment, worldly enjoyment, and there's spiritual enjoyment, things that are on a higher level. The Torah and the mitzvahs have a spiritual aspect to it. There's an intellectual aspect to it, but there's also a spiritual aspect to it, that it's God's wisdom, it's God's will. Your neshama, your body can enjoy it. As a person, you can somewhat appreciate it, but also on a soul level, you can appreciate it. So there's a lot more going on if you can learn to appreciate something spiritual versus something worldly. That's number one. Number two is that God created a lower creation, which are physical things, and a higher creation, which are spiritual things. So if you understand that whatever you enjoy in this world is limited to a certain extent and has a certain life, how much can you enjoy a new car? After 2 years, it's over. You know what I mean? Even after 2023, when you buy it now, once a new one, that's it. It's over. It's gone. So there are certain things. It's limited. It's limited for a certain amount of time. After that, it grows old. That's it. It's over. You need the next. You need the next gig. But when it comes to enjoying something on a spiritual level, that stays with you. Whether it stays with you physically, may not necessarily stay with you. You can tap into it, but you have that connection saved for you in the world to come. There are many ways of looking at it. So, you have to serve Hashem with joy. We have to try to serve Hashem with joy in a way that it overrides any other enjoyment we can see and connect to in this world, knowing that this enjoyment has a value and a quality that's much greater than anything we can encounter in this world on a worldly matter. That's number one. Another thing is, this is a cute insight. One of the Hasidim of Reb Simcha Bunim of Pshischa, there was a great Hasidic master, his name was Reb Simcha Bunim Pshischa. Now obviously he lived in a town called Pshischa. That's why it's called Simcha Bunim of Pshischa. So one time the Chassidim would like to travel. If you lived in his town, you were a lucky man. But if you lived in a different town, you had to come travel. So there was once a Chassid, he was traveling and he came Matzah Shabbos, Saturday nights. And he's like, hey, Dad, what's the problem? He was traveling and he couldn't make it to Pshischa before Shabbos. He got stuck on the road for Shabbos. He was all depressed, he was all broken, So this man by nature was a Marash Chayrenik. He was a person that didn't have that much joy by nature, let's put it that way. He was a downer. So when he came to his Rebbe after such a story, his Rebbe tells him, let me tell you something. He tells a nice voice, says, let me tell you something. We have Shabbos, right? We got stuck on Shabbos. Let's talk about Shabbos. You have Shabbos. Shabbos is an entity that takes in guests. Shabbos is Machnas Eirech. Why? You have Rosh Chodesh falls out on a Shabbos. Shabbos says, okay, you Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month, you want to come? No problem. You want the Torah reading? We'll give you a Torah reading. You want to take over Musaf and add your, the special part from Musaf? No problem, you got it. Comes Yom Tif. Yom Tif says, "Hey, Mr. Shabbos, I'm here." Shabbos says, "No problem. Yom Tif, you're here. No problem. I'll take you in." You want to change the whole davening now? Instead of having the Shabbos davening, you're going to add a whole new Shmona Esrei, and you don't read on Shabbos anymore now. Shabbos. Now you're going to read the whole thing of the holiday. If you're lucky, you have something on Shabbos. But even on a regular Yom Tif, you don't get anything for Shabbos. You just mention Shabbos. But pretty much, the Yom Tif takes over. Shabbos says, "I'm fine." Comes Yom Kippur on Shabbos. Yom Kippur, Shabbos says, "No problem. You want to cancel out my meals? You have to fast? No problem. We got you covered." Comes Tisha B'Av. And Tisha B'Av says, "Shabbos, hey, I'm here." Tisha B'Av says, "Wait till Sunday." And for someone that's going to give me it's all about the sadness and depression, that you can wait till Sunday. So he was telling that chassid, depression, you got to push it aside. You got to don't take that in. Don't take in the melancholy. Don't take that in, and then you're able to celebrate every day. Every day is going to be a Shabbos. So Hashem should help. We should be able to have simcha. We should have joy. And we should have positivity. We should see that we have the greatest opportunities ever. Have a wonderful day.